One of the most controversial videos that I have is talking about inflicting pain and how pain makes people fall in love with them. It's not that pain makes people fall in love, but that pain wakes people up. The sense that you're leaving, the sensation that maybe one day you could leave, makes people wake up, and it makes people touch grass and get in touch with reality. Why? Because when we love someone, we validate them so much that we try our best that they don't experience any pain or discomfort. We hide certain facts about us. We go out of our way to make them happy, that we never really let them experience our absence. We never really let them experience pain. But the problem with the videos that I made is that people look at it and it sounds evil and manipulated, but it really isn't, right? But today I'm going to give you an alternative, how to inflict pain on someone without going straight to hell, right? Because a lot of people say, Delexis, how do I inflict pain? But I don't want to be mean. Well, think about this. You have hurt people in your life that you were not trying to hurt. You telling them the truth, you being a good friend, a good partner, telling the truth hurts people. Being honest hurts people. So one of the ways to inflict pain, the right type of pain that makes them fall in love, is to give them the truth. Now, why do I say that? Naturally, when you're falling in love with people, you hide certain things about you. You hide certain things that you hate about the person that you're seeing. Maybe they don't wash the dishes. Maybe they're inconsiderate. Maybe they're always late. And because of the affinity that you feel for them, you hide those annoying things until one day they do so much that you explode in anger and you tell them how you feel about them. But at that point, you're already over the bullshit. At that point, you're almost willing to leave. But what tends to happen, something miraculous tends to happen that tends to shock people to their core, is that the person who they hurt with the truth comes back. The person who they hurt with the truth comes back a little bit more humbled. And this is why. When your criticism is based on something real, based on something that they actually did, that criticism will make them self-reflect, will make them see the errors of their ways, if they're really not that toxic. You know what I'm saying? If your criticism, which is based on truth, causes them to get defensive, that's a red flag for you. That's a sign for you to leave, not a sign for you to go Scooby-Doo mode and experiment, right? And telling somebody something that is bothering you about their behavior makes people feel awkward. It makes people feel self-conscious. It lowers their self-esteem temporarily. And it raises your power because you're coming from them from top down. And in that moment, you just look more attractive. You look more high value. And you'll notice that if they're actually paying attention to you, there's a certain awkwardness in their face. There's a certain sense of like, what can I do to fix this? And a lot of the times, when we do this to people, we tend to notice that their behavior afterwards tend to be more on the straight and narrow, right? They tend to be more respectful towards you. That's because this is called breaking rapport. You make them feel comfortable, too comfortable, to the point that they stop trying, to the point that they start being disrespectful, right? And these moments of truths, which will happen to you, and hopefully you will do with the people that you meet, will always bring you guys closer together. Because once you resolve the issue, once you address it, what you tend to notice is that there's a release of oxytocin. There's a release of feel-good chemicals in the body that bonds people together. And when I tell my clients to do this, they get scared because they're scared that if they do this, a person will leave and walk away. But the truth is, no matter what pain they feel, any form of pain will make people want to come back to you for validation. And usually the way that people inflict pain is through manipulative tendencies, calling you names, threatening you to leave for this other person. But the way that I want you to inflict pain is just to be honest with them. Maybe they're with you too much and you want some space. Bitch, give me some space. Let a nigga breathe, right? Maybe you could tell that they're being lazy with the way that they're cooking. For example, it sounds so sexist, right? Oh my fucking God. Right? Or maybe they really don't put effort to try to look nice when you guys are outside, and you put effort but she doesn't, right? That's an example. A lot of the times we tend to hide the things that annoy us about the people that we're dating, simply because we're shy or because of we have certain tendencies, right? But what you're really missing out on is an opportunity to enhance what they feel about you. It's an opportunity to reveal to them how much you really care to them, right? How important you are to them. And one of the things that tends to hurt the thing that hurts the most in life is the truth. Plain and simple. Maybe you're with them and you want them to not stay over the night. You tell them, hey man, I kind of, I like hanging out with you, but tonight can you not stay over? Blah 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 blah. Those things offend people. People take that personal, right? Even if you don't try to try to hurt them, people will get hurt by that. And those types of truths are the types of truths that I'm referring to in this video. The truth that even though they know you're right, they cannot help but take it personal because they like you so much. Maybe you're starting to date them and they're going all creepazoid on you, wanting to move in with you after a month or two, and you kind of like them, but you don't want to hurt their feelings. You tell them, hey, I barely know you, or hey, you're going a little bit too fast. I don't know you that well. The issue is that type of truth is uncomfortable to say. A perfect example of the truth is this. I went to art school, and this I talked about this many times, and hope, and I don't think he's gonna see this, but if he does, he'll smile about this. We were talking about this one guy who dressed differently in a photo, completely different than we know him as, right? And for some reason, somebody found the photo. Like, it was honestly a coincidence where somebody was on Tinder, and they showed a photo of a guy, and then she was like, should I go out with him? And then a friend realized that's one of our classmates. Like, just a pure coincidence. They would have never figured it out. And we were all drinking at the school, and somebody showed the photo. And we were drunk, so we were laughing. But I don't think we were laughing at him. But I think it gave the impression that we were laughing at him. And I remember one of his friends were there, and he wasn't saying shit. He was quiet. And the person who was showing the photos, after everyone laughed, he was like, "Hey, I don't like this. I don't like that you guys are doing this." And they were like, "What do you mean? You're making fun of him, and I don't like this." And he was serious, and everyone was quiet. And we sort of didn't argue with him because he was right. He was totally right. It was completely disrespectful to laugh about him like that, even though it wasn't intentional. I don't think it was intentional on me, to be honest. Well, I kind of didn't like him, but personally, I would never laugh at a guy like that in that way. So it was just laughing. But I guess a part of me just found it funny, And I felt bad, and the whole room got cold. And then we changed the topic, and but then there was something different happen. My respect for him just increased. And even though it was an awkward situation, uncomfortable, the truth increased the level of respect that we have for him. He used the truth to inflict pain, making the situation a little uncomfortable. And that truth allowed us in a way to respect him more, right? And that pain makes us want his validation, right? And the reason why it works is because it's the truth. He's not wrong. It's disrespectful. He's calling us out on it, and we should be ashamed of ourselves. And that's his friend. And he has every right to defend his friend. Those uncomfortable truths are things that people wouldn't do in public because it requires a certain level of internal fortitude to do that. And he did that. And at least in my point of view, I respect him. We weren't friends, but I looked at him at a distance, and I'm like, if I ever want a friend, that's that kind of guy that I want, because it's the truth. He used the truth to inflict pain, and that pain didn't make us not like him. That pain made us like him even more. Anybody who is willing to be honest with you has a certain power. Those people can inflict pain on people, especially if it's righteous. Meaning, especially if it's based on something real. If you're being disrespectful or you're doing something genuinely wrong, those people, when they speak the truth, will put you in a position where you have to either be an asshole and act like you don't have something wrong with you and walk away, or submit to the truth and be honest with yourself and that person. And what tends to happen is that you tend to like the person more. Unless you're an asshole, you're gonna like the person more and respect them more and act more accordingly to get their validation. And I tend to see this in my life, you know? I tend to see this in my life, and because sometimes I tend to not say certain things, you know, and I tend to lose out on certain nuggets of respect that I could gain here and there, right? But anytime that this has been done to me, like just people being honest with me and saying, Alexis, like, you know, like sometimes, you know, you could be a bit of an asshole to people or a little offensive. Like one time I offended a whole group of people one time, and my friend told me about it, how wrong it was, and how I embarrassed him. And I remember, like, that was the truth, and it made me feel bad that I made him feel bad. And I remember the feeling that I got from that was that, you know what, I like him more as a friend. I don't wanna embarrass him anymore in front of his friends by saying white power in front of his friend. Look, people, we were saying, like, we were doing a toast, and we were all minorities. I thought it would just get the joke, but apparently they didn't. They got offended. You know, it's crazy shit, man. But that's why in relationships and people that you meet, don't be afraid to tell them the truth. Don't be afraid to say, look, man, I like you, but you tend to overtalk too much, or I like you, but you tend to be late too much, or I like you, but you tend to this. As long as you're not, like, consistently criticizing them, as long as you save those arrows for those moments, meaning you can't just be freaking Bob the truth teller everywhere you go, thinking you're doing an enunciation. Like, what the hell's going on? No, like, you can't just do this all the time, right? Pick your battles so that when it's time to say this, it hits harder. You know, for example, that guy was a quiet guy. He didn't talk that much. For him to show that much sturdiness in that moment made us realize he was really serious about this. Or even when you're in a relationship with someone and they're fucking up, you sit them down. You say, hey, let's have a little conversation, man. Lately we've been having some tough things, and those conversations, which is the truth, will create a certain awkwardness that then they will gravitate towards you to find some comfort. In other words, I don't like your angry side. What can I do to make you happy? Because clearly I messed up. And if the person that you're seeing takes offense at you standing up for yourself, then you walk away. Some people will not tolerate you inflicting pain on them righteously. They don't. But a sign of a true person who has a true character, they're willing to take the hits because you're righteous, because you're right and they're wrong. These are things that you could use to test people's character. And also when it's your turn for somebody to put you in your place, you also have to be willing to be put in your place. It's not just a one-way street. You know, it's not just a one-way street. Like I was supposed to hang out with this friend of mine yesterday, and I completely forgot. Honestly. Like I went out drinking and I completely forgot. And like, people, oh my God, he's becoming an alcoholic. He's drinking on the job. And I remember she told me, she was like, hey man, like, I don't like that you just randomly did that. I find it very disrespectful. And usually most people don't say nothing. But she said something, I felt bad. And I was like, you know what? No, you're right. And that does do something psychologically to you. It does tell you that this person has standards, right? It does tell you that this person has has self-esteem and that they believe they deserve respect. But most importantly, it prevents me from wasting your time, because I don't want to see that shit again. Get what I'm saying? So this is the new Father Alex inflicting pain type of video. Okay, and you'll see this in your life, man. There's nothing wrong with putting people in their place as long as you don't take some pleasure on it, right? As long as you develop empathy, and as long as you say things while being willing to walk away, this will work. People will respect you for it, and people will want to be with you. All right. Anyways, hopefully you guys. All right, people, if you guys enjoy that type of content, if you guys want to work with me one-on-one, and you guys have some situations you guys want me to answer, maybe somebody's playing you, maybe somebody doesn't like you, maybe you want to make somebody like you, maybe you want to tell me your situation and see what I think, you guys can click on the description down below and purchase a one-on-one phone coaching call with me that is completely confidential and nobody knows about it. And there I'll be able to give you my personal opinion about your situation. And at the end of the day, when you work with me, you're gonna get answers. All right. The point is that you're not gonna waste your time. If you guys want to do that, click on the description down below. Those are the one-on-one private confidential phone calls. And if you guys want to be able to, for me to answer your questions, like you see in my videos where I answer questions, you guys can book an email coaching session, which is more affordable, and you guys can change things around and nobody will know it's you. And there you'll be able to get a one-on-one type of coaching, and I'll be able to post it on YouTube. And the beauty about it is that nobody finds out, because you could just change your name, people. You say you're in China, I'm gonna say you're in Australia. Nobody's gonna find out, people. Now, I want to make it clear: the private one-on-one phone call are private, confidential. The email coaching calls, as you guys can see, are things that I post on YouTube. They're more affordable, and they let me post a video on it. As long as you change things around, nobody will know it's you. So don't be shy, man. I love working with people, and at the end of the day, it's my passion to help people. You guys have no idea how happy this makes me to be able to help you guys at an individual basis. And at the end of the day, you're gonna get my honest advice. A lot of people bullshit you just to bring you back as a customer. If you guys are looking for that honest advice, this is the guy for you. Okay? See you guys.